From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 10, powered by Reva University and Greenply.
From blaming Motilal Vora to creating a ruckus over Mallikarjun Kharge being summoned during a parliament session, the Vadra Congress has used everything to detract from the nub of the issue in the freedom struggle for profit scam. And the problem has been, ladies and gentlemen, that the rest of the media, the corrupt media, does not really talk about what the elements of the scam are. It is very necessary to look into the details of the expose, which is why tonight in a mega Republic expose, I shall show you why this entire strategy has flopped and why the Vadras must answer the specifics this time.
Republic TV has been leading with the exposés on the Vadra-Gandhi files for years.
Believe me, the Gandhis could have bought Apple and Amazon out with this kind of business strategy. And next time I think Warren Buffett wants to learn about investing with millions of times return, he should learn it not at 10 Janpath or Silicon Valley, he should learn it at 10 Janpath.
And now, as the Vadra Congress fumes over the questioning of Mallikarjun Kharge by the Enforcement Directorate,
I can't tell because it is investigation. Before investigation, I can't make any statement.
6.5 घंटे हो गए हैं और हमारे वरिष्ठ नेता, बुजुर्ग नेता, नेता प्रतिपक्ष राज्यसभा श्री मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी को ईडी ने बुलाया था, वो गए और अभी भी वो ईडी के पास हैं.
it's time for yet another expose.
Mallikarjun Kharge immediately stepped out and said that this was a deliberate attempt made by the ED to prevent him from attending the parliament. But the reality being that he was the only employee of Young Indian, and that is the reason why he had to be present as per the provisions in the PMLA Act.
कल बड़ी छाती पीट कर खड़गे जी पार्लियामेंट में खड़े होकर बोल रहे थे कि पार्लियामेंट का सेशन चल रहा है और मुझे पूछताछ के लिए बुलाया गया है. तो क्या जांच एजेंसी आपको बुलाई भी नहीं जब आप ही सीईओ हो, आप ही एम्प्लॉय हो?
Rahul Gandhi was silent when asked if he pinned the blame on deceased party veteran Motilal Vora.
Mr. Gandhi, would you take couple of questions on ED?
Please don't waste your time. Please don't waste your time.
Mr. Gandhi, would you take couple of questions on ED? Rahul, would you take couple of questions on ED?
Enforcement Directorate has essentially asked a very basic question to the Gandhis, that if Motilal Vora had taken all decisions when it comes to financial matters, then there has to be some document that they could furnish. It turns out that not a single document has been furnished by the Gandhis as far as this issue is concerned.
Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Motilal Vora, they are directors of Young Indian established. Sonia Gandhi, president of Congress Party, Rahul Gandhi, vice president, and the third person being the treasurer, and that is Motilal Vora. And then you go to AJL, Motilal Vora is the chairman, and Oscar Fernandez is a member of the board of directors.
While Rahul Gandhi went on and on about selective companies being saved by the ruling regime, sensational new findings indicate he has a lot to explain.
It is being run to protect the interest of 4 or 5 people, and the government, this dictatorship is being run in the interest of 2 or 3 small business, big business people by two people.
Last few days when the pan-India searches were basically being carried out, the Enforcement Directorate was looking at the possibility of multiple shell companies. And that is something that is a revelation as far as this case is concerned, where the Enforcement Directorate is looking at the role of Hawala operators and multiple shell companies.
And now we are told more searches are on in the mega cash scam that ensured a 50 lakh infusion yields properties worth over 2,000 crore rupees across India. The Vadra-Gandhi files are only getting thicker. Let's debate.
So, Pankaj, I'll start with you. There were some shares that were in the name of a person called Suman Dubey. On Jan 22nd, 2011, he transfers 550 shares additionally to Sonia Gandhi. So he has founder shares in the company and he transfers them to Sonia Gandhi. Then there's a person called Satyan Gangadhar Pitroda, Sam Pitroda. He transfers his shares to Oscar Fernandez. So the shares transferring and handling was taking place. Did the transfer and handling of the shares happen without Sonia Gandhi's signature? Is it possible for this to happen without Sonia Gandhi's signature, without her knowledge? Was all this being done behind her back? Pankaj, do you think? Yes. Yes, go on.
Can you transfer your shares to someone or not?
Yeah, but that someone has to accept it or not?
Someone, can you transfer your shares to someone or not? It is up to the other person to accept it or not.
Sonia Gandhi accepted it.
So if she has accepted it, and if
then what?
If there is any irregularity in that, then go ahead, take action.
Then what are you complaining about?
What is the irregularity in?
Then what's the complaint? That means there's a scam.
I mean,
that means you accept there's a scam.
No. Someone is transferring his shares and someone is accepting the shares.
Who is the someone who's accepting?
Irregularity.
No, who is the someone who's accepting? No, because you are okay now because you're making out to be that there is no scam. That's why I'm telling you. Where is the irregularity, Baba? Why don't you understand this? Sonia Gandhi knew what was going on. She was taking the money happily. She was becoming a very, very, very rich woman. Already very rich, but richer.
Mr. Goswami, you are so brilliant, so astute, so brainy that you know why Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party is on the target. It is not that some of your crony panelists who are sitting here are so semi-literate that they also don't know why only people from opposition parties are made to face all this.
Thank you for all that you said, but Tuin is answering the question. Tuin, I'm bringing you in, and this is going to be the very focused discussion tonight. Because they are all trying to say there is no scam. We have to prove there is a scam out here, right? So I'm telling you that the share transfer happened. Why did Suman Dubey give Sonia Gandhi 550 shares? What is the money that Sonia Gandhi paid Suman Dubey for it?
Do you know that around 150 sitting MPs and former MPs, sitting MLAs and
Louder, I can't hear
MLAs are facing the cases of money laundering
from the fact
which are being probed by Enforcement Directorate.
Audio please for both sides. Anand. Yeah.
Arnab, it is very clear now that the present Gandhi family, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, were at the epicenter of the scam and nothing could have moved without their knowledge.
Two. Come on, faster, Anand. I'm not going to.
What is particularly shocking is that they seem to have presumed a certain.
Yeah.
They
it's better now.
Presumed a certain impunity from all the fraudulent. They seem to have presumed a certain impunity from all the fraudulent practices, from all the money laundering acts which they were perpetrating and carrying out. So I think this is what is particularly shocking. They had either presumed they would be in power forever, where these things would not come to the fore, or they had presumed, by virtue of a general perverse sense of entitlement, which they always seem to enjoy, they had assumed that these things would never come to the fore. And today, what is equally shocking is the frivolous, is the dramatic protest which they are carrying on the issue of price rise, when everybody knows that the real issue is to intimidate the ED officials who are at the cusp of exposing what seems to be the most obnoxious financial scam in recent times involving the Gandhi family.
And such a
so the audacity,
Pankaj, now
the sense
Pankaj's
of the
audio.
perverse
Anand,
sense
can
of
you fix the audio,
entitlement
please?
is
Thank you.
Absolutely baffling.
Yeah, no, what they have done is, Aditya is an advocate on record in the Supreme Court. What they are trying to do is, they are trying to blame a dead man.
Yes.
It's the stupidest strategy that they could have come up with. Isn't that the plan, Shravan? Put all the blame on Motilal Vora and hope.
I tell you one thing.
Yes.
Nobody is blaming. There is not a single money involved in it. There is no financial investment. There is no transfer of money. There is no transfer of property. So it does not attract PMLA. It is just a narrative created by BJP and the media people to defame
Which
the
media
Congress.
people?
If you cannot defeat somebody, defame them. That is you and your people like you. You people are simply trying to speak what the government is willing to.
Terrible.
This is not terrible.
Okay. I'll tell you. Now I'll bring. I want to bring. Aditya, 1 minute. Aditya, see.
What happened to 2G scam
Aditya.
at the end of the?
Aditya, I'll tell you, the government did not do a good job of prosecuting the 2G scam. You want to know what happened there? You want to know what happened there? The government did not do a good job. The Modi government did not do a good job of the prosecution in the 2G scam. I have made my position clear on the subject. Right? They should have done that. I began my program today by saying that my complaint with this government is that they have acted 8 years too late.
They have done whatever
that they have acted 8 years too late, but the action itself cannot be questioned. Shravan is on the debate now.
National Herald scam will be what had happened in 2G scam.
Well, in fact, there are three key issues.
This is only you people are preparing. See, the government is preparing for 2024 elections, nothing else. The government is trying to divert the issue from the main issue, which is poverty, unemployment.
Election board, we don't need to prepare it.
Why would the government suggesting bank fraud of 500 or more crores every day? Drugs issues there.
No, but are you suggesting what the court was essentially talking about as far as this case is concerned is also to do with the 2024 elections? Now, there are three key issues. As far as this matter goes. One, as far as Motilal Vora is concerned, two specific questions were asked to the Gandhis. One, whether at all there is any document to prove the fact that Motilal Vora was taking all decisions as far as financial matters are concerned. Second, this decision would have taken place in a board meeting. It turns out there are no minutes of the meeting. They were given the opportunity that furnished details of the minutes of that board meeting. Perhaps that would have actually helped them. It turns out that is not the case. Second, Mallikarjun Kharge, today who's the principal officer of Young Indian, a single person employee in that particular company, CEO, he is the one who's basically been questioned, and he says that, look here, I'm being stopped from going to the parliament. But the fact of the matter is that you have to be present. One of the employees had to be present. Anyone else could have gone. Need not be Mallikarjun Kharge, but they had no other option because he was the only person, the only employee of Young Indian, so he had to be present. Third is the shell companies issue. We are not looking at only one company, we are looking at multiple companies right now.
Why don't you ask Mr. Kharge to... No, you could have asked Mr. Kharge to come before the parliament
situation. Now the scam is out in the open. The scam is out in the open. It is about Young Indian. It is about Young Indians.
What is the scam?
If they had more number of people or more number of employees, they could have sent someone else.
Where is the scam?
ED had not sent out any summons.
Where is the scam? There is no money laundering involved.
Okay, you are talking about a company called Young Indian. Pankaj Mishra, you are talking about a company called Young Indian, gets about zero assets. Gets 1 crore rupees. 1 crore is what we know as of now. When the investigation takes place, the number could go up very much. Now, hear me out. You are saying, where is the scam? I'll just give you a basic.
It's a farce, nothing.
I'll come to that also, but take a look at this. A company called Young India has been incorporated within a span of just about 3 months.
There is no money laundering involved.
Hear me out. This is the problem. Whenever we have asked the Congress party to basically respond on this entire issue, on facts, you want to get into political rhetoric. I'm trying to bring you back to the facts. Here is one more fact for you. Young Indian is a company incorporated within a span of 3 months. What really happens to that very company? It gets 1 crore rupees that we know it's out in public domain. There could be much more. Zero assets, but you get a shell company which operates out of a guest house, sends 1 crore rupees at a time when there are no employees. It turns out only one employee. Otherwise, Mallikarjun Kharge could have very well happily walked into the parliament.
Aditya and Pankaj, 1 minute. Aditya and Pankaj, Shravan, 1 minute. Aditya, you should be very careful. Very careful. Because you are an advocate.
I am.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you.
See, I know
no,
the
don't
result.
speak over me. Don't speak over me. Don't speak over me. You can't tell me what will happen. You are neither a Supreme Court judge or you are ever likely to become one. So please don't speak over me. Right? You don't know what the Supreme Court judges are going to do.
Not interested.
No, you may not be interested in being a Supreme Court judge, but the fact is you are not a Supreme Court judge. And neither are you the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, neither are you the Delhi High Court. So don't arrogate the powers on yourself of deciding which way this case will go. Now listen to me. Now you listen to me. You listen. Why don't you? The problem is you are sounding like right now. You are sounding right now like someone who's afraid of what next question. Listen to me, Aditya. I don't want to go personal.
You can express.
Aditya, why are you speaking over me? Why are you speaking over me?
You express your opinion. I am expressing my opinion.
I am not expressing opinion. I am putting fact. You are repeating opinion. There's a big difference between what you and I are doing. You know that. Now, I have an Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Okay? Its order is with me. You first of all, you tell me, Aditya, you tell Ishkaran, you come into the debate with Ishkaran, and let's have Ishkaran and Xavier Rodriguez, Srijit on one side, let's have Aditya, Meeta, C. Rajshekharan and Vikraman on the other side. You tell me first, Aditya, do you accept that the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal is a court order? Do you accept or not that it's an appellate authority for all income tax issues?
Obviously, appellate.
Do you agree or not? No, do you agree or not?
Order.
Do you accept it or not? Do you accept?
Can I disagree?
Do you accept it?
Can I disagree that it is not a court?
No. Do you accept it or not?
No, it is a matter of fact.
No.
Tribunal's order is a judicial order.
Yes, so it's a judicial order. You accept it? You accept it, right? Okay, very good. No, don't have to just say yes, I do. Then just say yes or no, I do. That's it. Yes or no, I do. Now, you have
Obviously,
not, the difference between you and me and Ishkaran,
the
difference between you, me and Ishkaran is that Ishkaran and I have read this order and you have not read the order. It is a 570-page document in this case. Okay? So when you very confidently say, when Pankaj says, where is the scam? Correct. What do you mean? It's a quasi-judicial body. It has called out collusion. In this order, of which I have page number 354, calls out the sham of a transaction between AJL and Young India. It says, and I quote, the so-called innocent or legal or permissible transaction as canvassed before us, in our considered view, is not so simple, not so straightforward as put out before us, but it only indicates, Ishkaran, the dishonest and fraudulent design.
Yes.
It talks about dishonesty. It talks about fraud. It talks about a pre-planned scheme. It says, and I quote, para 149, it says, this is a case where the properties are taken control of under a scheme and designed to acquire the share of a company under a pre-planned scheme. In other words, the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal says this was the Vadra-Gandhi family's get-rich-quick scheme. And they have the audacity to come on my program and tell a national audience, where is the scam?
Arnab,
now you won't say
brief points. Arnab, 2-3 brief points, because it's been said ad infinitum, where is the money? Firstly, Congress allegedly gave 90 crore rupees to AJL. By what check, on what dates, can the nation know? Because you're a political party, you get public donation. when was that 90 crores given? Can we please understand on what date? Because that would be a white entry. Second, how did a Dotex, a company under money laundering scanner, give Young India 1 crore rupee? That is again money. Third, PMLA talks about proceeds of crime. Shares and valuable properties are also proceeds of crime. That's basic definition in law, also in English. So how did the shares of AJL get transferred to Young India? I have a simple question. Supposing Congress gave 90 crore rupees. Did Congress file a case in any court of law to recover 90 crores from AJL? Either a recovery suit or a winding up petition against a company, which is the ordinary course of practice if you give loan to somebody. And fourth, fifth, maybe point is, how did Young India become a loan recovery firm? What was the experience of Young India that it could go to Congress and say, you Congress, having the best lawyers with you, cannot recover the money from AJL, but we Young India, because we are a loan recovery firm, we can recover money from AJL. What was their expertise? Another question, did Congress deal with multiple money recovery fields before it gave this loan assignment to Young India? And lastly, why did AJL never try to liquidate a single property to pay off a loan of 90 crore, alleged loan of 90 crore rupees, and give its entire shares to Young India, thereby allowing it to control all the properties? Every single step.
What was the expertise and experience? What was the expertise and experience of the company which got Rafale offset contract? What was the experience and experience?
Stick to the case and answer the case.
No, why? Let me going by. No, please answer me this. Why don't because you are raising
from
expertise and experience. What was the experience and expertise of the company which got Rafale offset contract?
Stick to the case. They will not answer the case. That is the whole point.
Since you have raised the issue of expertise and experience.
That it could recover 90 crores of loan from AJL, which somehow
I take that. You know, these standard windmills that are picked up by the Congress, every time you ask them a question on AJL, Young Indian, NSCL person renting the farmhouse of Priyanka Vadra, the details of Priyanka Vadra's 9-acre farmhouse in the hills, why Vijay Mallya was giving free flight upgrades, why the corrupt Manmohan Singh government was talking about bailing out Vijay Mallya, why Murli Deora was allegedly telling Rana Kapoor to buy a 2 crore painting from Priyanka Vadra, which would be a shortcut to getting a Padma award. Whenever you ask these questions, they say, oh, Rafale. For God's sake, there's a Supreme Court verdict on Rafale. My counter question straight to Pankaj, and you just see now, Srijit, how he's going to run. Straight, just watch Pankaj's face now, Srijit. I'm going to ask Pankaj, look here, did the Supreme Court find any criminality or corruption in the Rafale case? You won't accept the Supreme Court now, you'll attack and abuse the Supreme Court also, right? But did they find any corruption or criminality in the Rafale case? Did they?
Was there any controversy?
Don't do this whataboutery with me. Did they? Is it for the Supreme Court to find that out? Those facts were pointed out before the Supreme Court. They had to be adjudged by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court found no evidence, slightest evidence of criminality or corruption. You can say anything. You can say that the cloud should have come from the west, not the east. You can say whatever you want, but the Supreme Court is the final arbiter in this case. Now, therefore, you have nothing to say. See, the question here is, on the contrary, you tell me now. You tell me now. You tell me. No, you tell me. You tell me now. I'm going to. You tell me. You tell me. You tell me. We know. We talk about company structures. We talk about company structures and structures of control within companies. This poor man really, Motilal Vora Mita. He served the Vadra-Gandhis loyally all his life. He did many wrong things for the Vadra-Gandhis. He should not have done. He should have told, I actually think Vikraman, he should have told the Vadra-Gandhis that stop this corruption. But such is the price of loyalty in the Vadra-Congress family, Vadra-Gandhi family. So you
Arnab,
tell me.
Where is the corruption?
I'll tell you.
Where is the corruption?
Here's a question to you. I'll tell you everything.
The corruption and
now
where
my
is
question to
the
you,
money laundering?
Vikraman, you tell, there's a company.
No, but I
There's a
think it was for
company.
me.
1 minute. Meeta, there's a company. There's a company. In the company, there are different owners. Mother and 52-year-old adolescent son are controlling 76%. Extra is being given to Priyanka Vadra also.
You say now.
Now, my question here is, thank you.
I object
My
to what
question,
you
my
say
question
now,
is
how
to
you address
Meeta.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
My question is to Meeta.
He is a member of parliament. He's
My
a
question-
member of parliament and the parliament is in session now.
Yeah, my
And
question.
why is this?
My question is to Meeta. Meeta, Motilal Vora is controlling
insist
12%
an
of the
MP.
company. Mother and 52-year-old adolescent son are controlling 76% plus. But mother and son are saying the person who is no more, who controls 12% is taking all the decisions. I say, show me the proof of that. What is the proof? No. And listen to the question. You have to show me the proof. If a 12% shareholder in a company is taking all decisions, there has to be a piece of paper, Srijit, to prove that mother and son have given him the authority to take all decisions or a power of attorney or something like that. Is there such a piece of evidence, Srijit? I'm just asking a question. Yeah. Is there such a piece of evidence, Meeta?
Okay, can I come in now?
Yeah, but please answer the question, not with a prepared statement. Please answer my question.
Yes.
Now, is there a piece of paper like that? There'll have to be a piece of paper which proves.
So some uninterrupted.
No. Uninterrupted time I'll give you if you answer the question. Otherwise, I'll keep interrupting you. No, you'll tell me, is there a piece of paper to prove?
I'm trying
Is there a piece of paper? Will there have to be a piece of paper to prove?
Okay.
A single document. You will have to furnish a single document where Motilal Vora.
Unlike Republic TV, who...
Okay, now you'll attack Republic TV. That's the last resort.
Can I come in, please?
Last resort, attack
Unlike
Republic
TV,
Attack Republic
I
TV.
do not have internal sources within ED who would leak information to me. So you seem to know what has been going on in the interrogation done by ED. I would like to ask, what is your source, sir? Number one.
Oh God,
Number two.
She's asking.
Is Republic TV now the Supreme Court of India? Are things now going to be established in Republic TV by a media trial and verdicts being given?
You're sounding like Suresh Kalmari did in 2010.
Is this not an attempt of creating media optics and media perception? And number three, in 2014, there was a booklet released by BJP called Damadji. As an ordinary citizen of this nation, I demand to know, after 8 years of BJP government, is Damadji guilty, not guilty, perhaps guilty, somewhere in between? And how many more decades will be needed to come to a logical conclusion? In your last debate, I had spoken about the dismal conviction rate of ED being at 0.5%.
You still have not answered my question, and that's very distracting. I'm asking you. No, you're making this is the problem with you, Meeta. You make these prepared statements. You're not answering questions. You're behaving like Rahul Gandhi. You remember when I met him, he went on about women's empowerment because he had ratified the whole thing. He had memorized a few lines and he thought he'll get away with it. I'm going to ask you again. A simple question. Vikraman. No, my question is this. Thank you very much.
Because unlike you, sir, I am not an investigating agency myself.
Yeah.
Unlike you, who claim to know what form of communication, whether it was a written communication, oral communication, or a power of attorney being given to Mr. Vora, I do not have access to that information, nor am I an investigating agency.
See, what I'm trying to say is that, Meeta, Shravan can explain it better because he's been tracking the story, but I want Srijit to respond. What I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to say, Meeta, is someone has given them the wrong legal advice. Someone has told them that you go and say that this corrupt man, Motilal Vora, did corrupt things and we just got the money, we didn't know, we are saints. The problem is, however, Srijit, that there will have to be a single document which Motilal...
the money? You are again misleading the nation. Where is the money trail? Where is the money trail,
why do you go by...
Where is the money trail, sir?
Okay, I'll let Srijit respond to that, and I'll let...
all the one-sided.
I'll let Srijit respond to that.
Money trail.
I'll let Srijit come in. Srijit. Srijit, Shawan, yeah.
Where is the
First of all,
Where
first of all,
Gandhis have taken
Madam,
money?
please, my
Show me
time. Madam, please, my time. Madam, first of all, even the Supreme Court wouldn't ask a journalist about the source of his news. I think you will take that point fairly. Now, Arnab, to your question, there is already strong perception that Dotex, the company that financed Young Indian, was a clock. Now, the developments that you have exposed suggest that even Young Indian was a clock. So this only makes matters worse for the Congress. Now, who took decisions for the Young Indian, AJL, and the Congress? Are there papers to show that? That's a very important question. And when some journalist is asking that question to a person who is defending this party or AJL or whatever, then you need to give a straight answer and not question his source. Point number one. Now, these are not the only questions. Now, people have been saying that there is no trail of money, there is no corruption, it does not fall under PMLA. The only thing that we have to understand is these two questions, whether Young Indian and whether this Dotex was a clock, comes on the back of a series of questions. So this is of public interest. It needs to be found out whether a political party can disburse a loan of 90 crore rupees to a publishing firm. If yes, it needs to be found out whether there was any plan to revive National Herald as a newspaper. If yes, it needs to be found out whether this transaction of 90 crore actually happened. Was there a money trail for that?
No.
If yes, it needs to be found out whether you can take over the liabilities worth 90 crore by paying just 50 lakh rupees. If yes, it needs to be found out whether the existent investors were informed of the new shares. If yes, it needs to be found out but what assets of AJL have been used by Young Indian. If yes, it needs to be found out whether they earned any profits out of it. If yes, it needs to be found out whether there is any tax liability on Young Indian. That is why multiple firms are into the picture and they are questioning. Now, these are not simple things. These need detailed investigation, interrogation, and evidence collection. So it is appropriate for the Congress party and its supporters to cooperate with the inquiry than protesting against the government and ED and all other institutions in the name of price hike.
Precisely. I want Savio to come in as well. Savio.
Yeah.
No, the protest was about price hike.
Arnab, I just have one question to all the Congress. Can I speak, Meeta? It's my time. Can I speak, please?
Savio.
I have just one question for the Congress and the Congress panelists. I just have one question for the Congress and the Congress panelists. Is the Congress party a financial institution to donate 90 crores? That's the only question where the genesis of this problem originates. Is Congress a political party or a financial institution? And under what guise have they donated or loaned 90 crores to this company? Nobody is willing to answer this simple question, which is the genesis of this problem.
Precisely. That's
is this political party, is the act of the political party something that is normal in India?
No,
the question is, under what law has Congress loaned money?
No, the answer to that, and I want to tell you, Vikraman and Rajshekharan, is the answer is this was the way things were happening in India. Now, Mr. Rajshekharan, they say that we are all doing this for the poor people of the country. As far as I am aware, they were getting a colossal amount of rent, and they were getting it from from some wing of the Ministry of External Affairs when they were in government, and from a steel company. Now, question being here, Mr. Rajshekharan, this money which was coming into this company, right, which was taken over illegally by Sonia and Rahul and their party acolytes, this money coming into the company was therefore going into their pocket? The money that was the rent they were receiving, lakhs and millions in rent, where was this money going? It was going into their pocket or not? To the owners of the company or not?
Let's be fair. Assuming that whatever allegations, whatever points you're raising against Gandhis to be true to your wishes, but what the courts are going to do is the final order in this matter. So let us not hypothetically crucify somebody for no crime as on date. because we debate
We're
on a
not
channel.
crucifying. We're asking you a simple question.
Crucified Mr. A.
Please allow me. Savio, please allow me. I am only speaking.
Answer the question.
Speaking in the interest of general public. I am not speaking.
Crucified like this.
See, let us be fair. Let us be fair.
I want the question answered. A political party,
Sir,
is it a financial
one minute. Mr. Rajshekaran, before you use words like political match fixing, Mr. Rajshekaran, do you agree? Mr. Rajshekaran on other occasions, Mr. Rajshekaran.
BJP is going to lose.
Mr. Raj.
Out of fear, you are creating an opinion.
One small intervention if I could make here.
Ranting,
that is the
please.
political reason.
Arnab.
Because of Gujarat and Himachal elections, Aam Aadmi is emerging as a force, and you want to promote, you want to ensure
Congress
that
as a
Rahul
party
Gandhi
also
is the
does not
icon
belong
and
to the
Congress has
Gandhis.
to work hard.
Congress
You are
as a
putting
party
match
does
fixing
not
game.
belong to the Gandhis. So if they've
Arnab.
given away Congress's
let us-
money as loan, how have they
Arnab.
given it?
See, nobody can decide who is what.
Let the
Because
ED
the people
probe.
are the bosses.
Who are you
They
to
will
say
decide
that?
who has to win the elections. It is in a democracy. So
You
nobody
answer
is
the
the owner
question.
of any party.
Answer the
For your
question. The
information,
problem with your
even
audience,
Modi
don't
and
answer
Amit Shah are not
question.
owners of BJP.
Answer the question.
Even Modi and Amit Shah
So
are not
how
owners
can a
of
political
BJP.
party,
Correct.
how
Yes, it
can
is a
a
political
Congress
party. The
party
people have to
give
vote
away
the
money
political
for a
party.
loan?
Okay,
The people, we are in a people's democracy. The
So
people have to
how
vote
is
the
Sonia
party
Gandhi and Rahul
to
Gandhi directors on that company?
No.
How are
Let us-
Sonia
let us-
Gandhi and
let us
Rahul
not
Gandhi
insinuate
directors on that
something.
company?
See, I have no answers
If
for
it was
innuendos.
Congress money
I have
loaned to
no
them,
answers for
who
innuendos.
is Sonia
Let
Gandhi
the
and Rahul
court-
Gandhi to
court-
be directors?
Going back to the facts of the case, I bring Shawan. I bring Shawan into the other part of the debate. I'd like to bring in Tuhin into the debate as well. We have Tuhin with us. We have Shawan with us. We have Ishkaran with us. We have Pankaj, and we also have Aditya with us. The question was asked earlier, Shawan. There is no money. There is no money trail. Viewers, there is money. There is money trail because there are properties, and properties are worth money. Anybody who says there is no money is being stupid because the assets are the money. 1 minute. Now, you asked a question about money trail. I want to come to the question of Dotex, which was raised earlier by Shawan. It's not just one shell company, is it? There are several shell companies doing Hawala transactions. Young Indian acquires 1 crore from Dotex, which it took from another shell company in the guise of a loan. So there's a whole series of Hawala transactions. Shawan, you need to talk about that there are 95 shell companies which were unearthed by the CBI and the DHFL scam. And in this case also, it is believed that there will be hundreds of Hawala companies which are involved in the behind-the-scenes transactions. Shawan.
Because what turns out, Arnab, is that all this while, this was out in public domain because of the Income Tax Department's investigation that there was one company which goes by the name of Dotex. In fact, from the Income Tax Department's finding, there is more questions that have been raised about the responses that have come from the Gandhi family, but I'll come to that a little later. The bigger part and the biggest expose of today happens to be the existence of multiple shell companies. And all this while, we thought this was only in Kolkata, it was in Mumbai and the national capital. I'm given to understand that there are tier 2 cities that have now come under the scanner because of the pan-India searches that were carried out in the last few days. And it turns out that there are Hawala operators, there are shell companies from tier 2 cities which have also played a role in sending out money to a company, whether it is from the AJL or it is to Young Indian, is something that we'll have to wait and watch because the investigation is underway. And just one quick point, when we talk about where is the money, this is what the Income Tax Department said. The payment of commission of 1 lakh for taking Hawala entry of 1 crore through check is held as unexplained expenditure by the Gandhis. I'm not saying this, Income Tax Department is saying this.
Yes.
So, Aditya, is this also okay?
Shocking,
you know,
shocking. Arnab,
yeah, Tuhin.
Income Tax Department will say whatever
Arnab, I'm
government
assuming
wants to
the
say.
information. So I have followed Shavan's. I have followed Shavan's stories in the past, so I'm assuming the information to be correct. And if this turns out to be absolutely correct. Imagine Rahul Gandhi is a master, is an expert at facilitating Hawala money. Shocking, absolutely shocking. And this could explain some of his mysterious visits abroad over the last 2 decades. And today they have the gall to say that democracy is dead. Look at the sense of crazy sense of entitlement that President Gandhi finally carried. If the case indeed had no merit, then they could have easily obtained legal injunction by now, which they tried to obtain in 2016. But the Honorable Supreme Court had very clearly ruled that it could only provide them personal exemption from appearance, but the case cannot be quashed. And today, thankfully, the case is going to reach its logical end because the involvement of so many shell companies gives it a completely different angle. The kind of money, the Hawala money they had been facilitating in the country.
And that's the problem really, in this case, one of the biggest problems that many people have is about the operations of Hawala. Taking this further, Aditya and Pankaj, when we go into details, you have no argument. So I intend to go more into details because I see that when I go into the details, you go into superficial points and that becomes very apparent to the viewers that I'm going into detail, you're going to superficial points. Why am I going into detail? Why are you going to superficial points? Because you have no answer to my detailed questions. And my next point is this. My next point, Aditya.
You have faith on ED, let ED
Aditya, I have faith on facts. I'm asking you. My information, and you know that we are not just the most watched network in this country, we are also the network with the deepest investigative sources. So I'm telling you something, my information and top sources have told Shravan that Mallikarjun Kharge was summoned.
Your information is totally biased.
Yeah, that's your view. That's your view. That's all right. You know what Mr. Kalmadi called me. You know the names I've been called in my career. You know all the abuses I've taken. So that doesn't affect me. I'm bad, I'm evil, I'm biased, I'm terrible, I'm prejudiced. I should be thrown into jail again, etc., etc. No problem about that. But I'm going to continue to ask questions. The question is this. See, Aditya.
Law will take its own course. Where you have to go, law will decide. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry. Yeah. Don't worry. My question here is...
Law will take its own course, be it your case or be it case.
Now has taken...
If you have faith
law has
ED,
taken...
why are you jumping to
Now the question being, Aditya, 1 minute. Aditya, just listen here. Shravan, can I have him back on air? Shravan has found out, you people were crying that why has Mallikarjun Kharge been questioned? Poor Mallikarjun Kharge, terrible Mallikarjun Kharge. The fact of the matter is, Mallikarjun Kharge is the one and only employee of Young Indian. Shravan, please tell them this fact. He's not just an MP, he's a loyal employee. He's a CEO. He's the pantry boy. He's the mid-level manager. He's the sales agent. He's the HR head. He's the distribution network head. He's the finance head. He's the one and only employee of Young Indian. And you're crying about why he had to be summoned. Shravan, please tell him that.
I found it very difficult, Arnab, when with a straight face Mallikarjun Kharge came out and briefed the media saying that, look here, I'm being stopped from participating in the proceedings of the parliament. Now, what he did not want to tell is this. The first day when the searches were basically carried out, Arnab, the place was sealed. The reason being that there are certain provisions under the PMLA Act. When searches are being carried out, one person has to be present. It turns out that no one was there. So what did the ED do? Sealed the office, primarily because they feared tampering of evidence. They said any employee of Young Indian can come, we'll carry out the searches, we'll open the office. That's what happened the very next day. So Mallikarjun Kharge turns up. The reason being not because ED wanted Mallikarjun Kharge to be there. That's because there was no other employee. So that is the reason why Mallikarjun Kharge had to enter the Young Indian office around 12:30 in the afternoon. The search is carried out till late in the evening and Mallikarjun Kharge had to be present there. So later on, this was the question that was asked. Why not send someone else? It turns out only one employee, he is the CEO, two shareholders.
Yeah. So this question being, they think we are all fools. They think the people of the country are fools. Aditya and Pankaj, please tell me, even a Kirana store has more employees. And here is a company with real estate holdings of more than 2,000 to 5,000 crores across 5 to 6 states. Even a startup which has started today would have more employees.
Let
No, what is this?
investigating it. Let ED take action.
So, no, what
Why
so you are
contributing to
admitting,
the
you are admitting this is a scam and a sham and a scam and a sham of a scam. No, you are admitting it.
I'm not admitting.
No, you are
I'm nobody
admitting it.
from-
You are admitting.
is not a
Srijit,
scam.
he is admitting.
I'm not.
He is admitting. Srijit, he is admitting. Even Meeta is admitting it.
Yeah, I think whenever you say that it is up to the ED to
nobody
take
is
action, that is
admitting. You are
exactly what is
forcing
being.
Words on our mouth, please.
No, please. No. When you actually say
no,
that it is up to the ED to take action in this case, and that is exactly what they are doing. So therefore, you admit that there is something that is malified that has happened in this.
Who is opposing ED action? We are supporting. We are participating in this investigation, and
I
we want that
saw
let
the
there be
chief
live
ministers
telecast
of all
whatever
Congress-ruled states.
investigation.
I saw the chief ministers of all Congress-ruled states and all the parties' top brass going along with the Gandhis to the ED office. Were they also summoned? I didn't know. Sorry, I did not know. I heard that only Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi were summoned by ED, but I saw Mr. K.C. Venugopal going there. He is in some other charge. He is an MP. I heard that there are some Congress chief ministers from other states who accompanied him. Were they also summoned? And I heard that they conducted some sit-ins there. They protested. They wanted to break this section 144 CRPC area and conduct protests. And then they were detained and they are complaining. What is that? If ED is conducting that inquiry,
No, 2 employees,
it is well within
2
their right to
directors and
issue
1
summons and
employee.
question them.
2 directors and 1 employee. Vikraman, 2 directors, 1 employee, property worth 5,000 crores, sham transaction, taxes not paid. It's a stunt. It's a stunt of an unimaginable proportion. In any other country, they would be in jail for life and have to pay up thousands of crores in penalties, which I'm sure the courts here will also. Yes, Vikraman and Meeta.
No, this is how you people incriminated Mr. A. Raja. This is how you people scrutinized Mr. A. Raja, crucified him.
About business processes.
And what happened in the end? What happened in the end in 2G spectrum? A. Raja came clean.
There is no equivalence.
See, this
What
is
are
a
you
political
talking?
vendetta by BJP,
There is
and
no
now the
equivalence
Congress
between
is
the two
protesting
cases.
because of the price
Talk on
rise.
facts.
Any
Talk on
MP,
facts.
any
What are you
political
talking?
party for that matter, is obliged to the people of this country. This country needs an answer. Why this government is so silent about the price rise? Why is this economy is devastated?
Why was this wealth being gathered? Was wealth being gathered? Ishkaran, we come to the moot point. Was wealth being gathered? Was private wealth being gathered through these means by this corrupt family or not? Was private wealth being gathered? Meeta, did the Vadra-Gandhis become rich or poor because of this entire thing? You tell me, Meeta, tell me. Meeta, tell me. Listen to me. You and Ishkaran are on the debate right now. Tell me, Meeta, think logically, okay? 50 lakhs rupees put in, sham transaction, 2,000 to 5,000 crore rupees of property come into your pocket.
According to you.
And no, not according to me. These are accepted facts. This is the income tax appellate tribunal. This is not according to me. This is not according to me. This is not according to me. Here it is in black and white. It is in black and white. It's the commercial. I read out now. I'll read out now, viewers. It's not according to me, and I want to read out para 140. I want to read out para.
Judicial orders.
I'm going to read out para 140 now, Meeta.
Judicial orders. Please
Yes
do not
or
say it's
no?
according to somebody.
I'm going to read out para
Various
140.
orders in this case.
Can you please answer this,
judicial orders in
Mr.
this case.
Goswami, without putting my feeder down, sir?
I'm going to read out.
Have those assets been transferred to either Mrs. Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi? Yes or no?
Yes.
sir?
Arnab, can I answer this if you put my finger also?
Just 1 minute. One minute.
Can you please answer that? Have those assets been transferred, sir?
Meeta here. I'll read out. One
You
point
are
in
saying
Ishkaran.
that they have got their assets, but that's factually incorrect.
I am telling you the lines that you are given every morning, Meeta, and told by your political masters to put out on your Twitter feed, social media, speak these things on television are lines which have been given by an illiterate legal team of the Congress party, which has not done enough research on the case. They have given you these pointers, but you go and ask them this question tomorrow. Whoever puts it on your WhatsApp groups, tomorrow you say, Arnab asked me this question, I want an answer for it. And here's my question. My question is, did the property get commercially exploited? And is it true or not that para 140, page 385 of the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal...
commercial exploitation?
How do I define commercial exploitation? You asked the question, can I give an answer?
We have been
No, can I give an answer to that? It's a really foolish question.
Yes,
it's a foolish question. You should know this much, but I'll answer the question.
It's called commercial exploitation.
She says...
When you earn revenue from a property by letting it out on rent.
Correct.
That's
He answered
the basic
it.
definition of commercial exploitation. What is commercial exploitation? We have to discuss that.
Gandhi, in a non-profit
Arnab, it is
organization
ridiculous.
where no dividend,
Okay, let
no
me ask you
salaries
just
are being
two
paid
questions.
out,
Let me just ask 2 points, madam. Madam, if I could just say 2 points and then you can answer them because the nation will know. First, this is not a case. This is not a case of FIR by a government in power so that you can say political agenda. This had gone to courts. The initial thing was done by a magistrate which found prima facie evidence to summon. High Court accepted that, refused the quashing petition. So did the Supreme Court. So there has been a judicial application of mind that there is enough
and now my counter to the earlier point. And now my Meeta, I need to counter Vikraman on the earlier point which he made. Vikraman made the earlier point. Vikraman made the earlier point, and now Vikraman needs to hear this. Vikraman viewers made the earlier point on 2G because he knows that we were instrumental in breaking the 2G scam like we were instrumental in breaking the CWG scam, the Devas ISRO scam, the Adarsh scam, the Kargil for profit scam. And let me tell you one thing, Vikraman, because I don't even know whether you were in politics then. I am very proud of the work we did then. And the country remembers the work we did then, okay? And the work we are doing now. But my counter to you is this, and why I say that you should come a little better prepared on my program. 2G, viewers, and Rajshekharan can tell you more about this later. After the program, you call him and you ask him whether Arnab is right. You know, there is a para 1799 in the 2G verdict. And I will now quote from para 1799 of the 2G verdict, which says, quote, "It is clear that somebody from the Prime Minister's office, PMO, had given a go-ahead to the DOT for the issue of new licenses, and most probably it was Shri Pulok Chatterjee himself. And Pulok Chatterjee was working in the PMO. Hence, if you want a straight answer on why Raja was acquitted, Raja was acquitted, the onus was put up on the PMO. You follow? Why don't you talk about that? So don't think that the media does not do its fundamental research on cases like this. In fact, without trying to pat ourselves, let me tell you, without the media doing its research, there would have been no fight against corruption in this country.
Proving somebody guilty, go to court.
Now that's a silly argument. Now come on, you're being silly now.
That is not a silly answer.
Now you're being silly.
The CBI has acquitted.
Now you're being silly.
You're coming up with some
Of course everything will go to
court.
Of course everything will go to court, but never just make these sweeping comments. Rajshekharan, please tell him. Rajshekharan, tell him. He's not prepared, Rajshekharan, tell him.
Amit Shah does not have. The CBI does not have. You have everything. So go to court.
Arey Papa, I'm not to go to court. I put things in the court of public opinion. Why was land being grabbed? Why did the Vadra-Gandhis grab land?
You just shame people. You just shame people who are coming from the very humble background.
They come from humble backgrounds. The Vadra-Gandhis come from humble backgrounds and have worked hard their entire life, got scholarships and merit to come to positions of power and influence, and they've really worked their way up. They've been toppers in university. They've slogged their entire life. They've worked hard. They are the products of meritocracy. That's what the Vadra-Gandhis are. Well done, Vikraman. Well done, Vikraman. You actually believe that.
I'm talking about A Raja. Do not twist it.
Meeta has got an update on Meeta has just got a message. I don't know whether it's from whom. Who is it from? You got an update. Some of the Congress leaders who are scared to come on the program are messaging you. What are they saying?
My phone is on do not, sir. Sir, I do not think they really love following your channel. I'm sorry to disappoint. No one has sent me a message. I'm just watching your channel on my
oh, you're
phone.
watching a channel.
That's what I'm
You're
doing.
watching the
Not
channel even
really
now.
seeing any
Fantastic. Thank you.
message. So sorry to disappoint. And but yes, coming back to what we were discussing, is it all about media optics? Is it all about media trial, creating a political narrative? You still did not, since you seem to know a lot about legalities, you claim to be a legal expert yourself, you have a lot of insider information, you still did not answer me whether Damadji was guilty, not guilty. We are going to find out in 20 years whether he was guilty. Because the nation really needs to know. The entire 2014 election was fought on that.
Yeah.
Not as a Congress supporter, but as an Indian national.
You're asking me. You're asking me or Tuhin?
You have so much
you're asking me or Tuhin?
Yes,
are you asking me or Tuhin?
You are giving verdict.
Are you asking me?
You are giving.
You're asking me?
I am asking you, sir.
You're asking me. Okay, so then I have limited time, so I'll answer you.
You are giving verdict after verdict, sir.
Yeah, I'll answer you. I'll answer you.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Thank you.
And when can we have a verdict in that?
Thank you very much. I'll tell you one thing. That there is a person called Justice S.N. Dhingra. After the program, you go to the Republic TV site, go somewhere connected to Republic, and you'll find out the details about the Dhingra committee report, which said there were irregularities in the grant of licenses for change of land use in not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 villages in Gurugram, including a license given to a company which will be called Skylight Hospitality. And then you go and find out who is the owner of Skylight Hospitality. You will find out that is Damadji. And now you're asking me then why is Mr. Damadji not being brought to justice? For that you asked Tuhin. I began my program by saying that Damadji should have faced justice 8 years back. No, you are also, you've delayed it.
Lalu Yadav was convicted.
No, you've delayed it.
25
you
years
delayed it. You've delayed it, Tuhin.
Case came for, the law follows its own course, I mean, we have not, I can say it very conscientiously, we have not acted with vindictiveness, but at the same time, there is not a single case which has prevailed from that time and on which ED has not duly moved ahead. But yes, the law will take its own course. If Lalu Yadav took 25 years before he was finally convicted,
Robert Vadra, if for some reason you are suspiciously dragging your feet. But ladies and gentlemen, lots of responses to the facts here on Facts Here. And remember, viewers, the corrupt media will never bring these details to you. You will find these details not on the corrupt media, not on the Lutyens media. You will find it only and only on Republic. And I shall see you over the weekend. Till then, good night and goodbye.